Hello, I'm Lee. Happy Sabbath. We're going to finish Deuteronomy today. We ended on chapter 28 last time, so this will be chapter 29. You got the Samaritan Pentateuch pulled up, Dead Sea Scrolls, manuscripts, Thompson Septuagint, Brenton Septuagint, King James Version, Blue Letter Bible, and Aramaic Targums. Alright, so Deuteronomy 29, and Moses called unto all Israel, and said unto them, Ye have seen all that Yahuwah did before your eyes in the land of Egypt unto Pharaoh, and unto all his servants, and unto all his land, the great temptations which thine eyes have seen, the signs and those great miracles, the great trials which your eyes saw, the signs and those great wonders, but Yahuwah has not given you a heart to know, eyes to see, and ears to hear to this day. I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your clothes have not grown old on you, and your shoes have not grown old on your feet. You have not eaten bread, neither have you drunk wine or strong drink, that you may know that I am Yahuwah your Elohim. You'll notice in the Dead Sea Scrolls they have his name in there. They say Yahweh, I believe it's Yahuwah. Not going to argue about it. But you'll see in the modern translations they have Lord. And they even tell you that they replaced it. When you go, just do a search, look in your front of your Bible, or it's in the definition section of my Bible, they tell you they replaced it. So just go over here, go down to Lord, the Lord, Yehovah, Lord, and H3068. You go down here, unpronounced except with the vowel pointings of H136. So they use these vowel pointings to say the name, which is a replacement name. You know, like the Jews say it's too holy to pronounce, so they replace it with Yehovah or Lord. So Yahuwah. And also, notice how he has not given them a heart to know, eyes to see, ears to hear. Only by him do we see. So all praise to Yah, Yahuwah. Matthew 13:16. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. See? For verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which you see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which you hear, and have not heard them. Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. We'll read that. That's a good parable. They're all good. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom, and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one, and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. This is he which receives seed by the wayside. But he that received the seed into stony places, the same as he that heareth the word, and anon with joy receiveth it. Matthew 13. Anon. Close that up. Pop-ups. 13. Let's see. That's a horrible website. Pop-ups everywhere. Go back. Let's see if this is any better. Nope. Same website. Alright, y'all can stop with the pop-ups. Let's see, 13. So you got Matthew 13, 20. 13:20. Zoom in. 13:20. As for what was sown on rocky ground, this is the one who hears the word, and immediately receives it with joy. And anon with joy receiveth it. Matthew 13. Why would they put anon in there? G21:17. Euthus. Immediately. Anon. Straight, straightforward, upright, true, sincere, straightway, immediately, forthwith. So KJV, fix that. Immediately with joy receiveth it. Yet hath he not root in himself, but endureth for a while. I'm just going to read this one. Yet has no root in himself, but endures for a while, and when tribulation or persecution arises on account of the word, immediately he falls away. That'd be like coming to the truth of the law and your family members ostracizing you, or friends, or persecuted, like Rome did the early believers. Tribulation, persecution arises, falls away. As for what was sown among thorns, this is the one who hears the word, but the cares of the world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and it proves unfruitful. As for what was sown on good soil, this is the one who hears the word and understands it. So he hears the word and understands what it means. He indeed bears fruit and yields in one case 100-fold, in another 60, and another 30. So bearing fruit, Psalms 1. So praise Yah. He's helped us to see. 6:10. And we took their land and gave it for an inheritance unto the Reubenites, and to the Gadites, and to the half tribe of Manasseh. Keep therefore the words of this covenant, and do them, that you may prosper in all that you do. You stand this day, all of you, before Yahuwah your Elohim, your captains of your tribes, your elders, and your officers, with all the men of Israel. All of you stand today in the presence of Yahuwah your Elohim, your heads, your tribes, your elders, and your officers, even all the men of Israel, your little ones and your wives, and the foreigners who are in the middle of your camps, from the one who cuts your wood to the one who draws your water, that you may enter into the covenant of Yahuwah your Elohim, and into his oath which Yahuwah your Elohim makes with you today, that he may establish you today as his people, that he may be your Elohim, as he spoke to you, and as he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. Neither do I make this covenant and this oath with you only, but with those here with us before Yahuwah our Elohim, and also with those who are not here with us today. As for you, know how we lived in the land of Egypt, and how we came through the middle of the nations through which you passed, and you have seen their abominations and their idols, wood and stone, silver and gold, which were among them, lest there should be among you man, woman, family, or tribe whose heart turns away today from Yahuwah our Elohim, to go to serve the gods of those nations, lest there should be among you a root that produces bitter poison. And it happens when he hears the words of this curse, that he bless himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the stubbornness of my heart, to destroy the moist with the dry. Yahuwah will not pardon him, but then Yahuwah's anger and his jealousy will smoke against that man, and all the curse that is written in this book will fall on him, and Yahuwah will blot out his name from under the sky. Yahuwah will set him apart for evil out of all the tribes of Israel, according to all the curses of the covenant that is written in this book of the law. This book of the law. It's interesting when you go over to Jubilees. It says, Oh, maybe it doesn't say there. Anyways, the Dead Sea Scrolls says the first law, this is the first law, is in Jubilees. And it refers to a second law. And it's interesting that Deuteronomy says this book of the law also. Second law. Everything's built on top of one another. They say that the Messiah came and did away with the law. No, he built on the foundation. The foundation was laid and it was built on top of. So 21 to 25. So that the generation to come of your children that shall rise up after you, and the stranger that shall come from a far land shall say, when they see the plagues of that land and the sicknesses which Yahuwah hath laid upon it, and that the whole land thereof is brimstone and salt and burning, that it is not sown nor beareth, nor any grass groweth therein, like the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah and Zeboam, which Yahuwah overthrew in his anger and in his wrath. So 29, 22. Yep. Got all four of them. Even all nations shall say, wherefore hath Yahuwah done thus unto this land, and what meaneth the heat of this great anger? Then men shall say, because they have forsaken the covenant of Yahuwah, Elohim of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt. Then men will say, because they abandoned the covenant of Yahuwah. Yep. And went and served other gods and worshipped them, gods that they didn't know and that he had not given to them. And Yahuwah rooted them out of their land in anger and in wrath and in great indignation, and cast them into another land, as it is this day. Yahuwah rooted them out of their land in anger and wrath and great indignation, thrust them into another land. Yep. So it's kind of off. Run into that sometimes. They'll have the verses numbered differently. So the curses. Second Chronicles 34:24. Thus saith Yahuwah, behold, I will bring evil upon this place and upon the inhabitants thereof, even all the curses that are written in the book which they have read before the king of Judah. Because they have forsaken me, and have burned incense unto other gods, that they might provoke me to anger with all the works of their hands. Therefore my wrath shall be poured out upon this place, and shall not be quenched. And as for the king of Judah, who sent you to inquire of Yahuwah, so shall you say unto him, Thus saith Yahuwah, Elohim of Israel, concerning the words which thou hast heard, because thine heart was tender, and thou didst humble thyself before Yahuwah, when thou heardest his words against this place, and against the inhabitants thereof, and humblest thyself before me, and didst rend thy clothes, KJV, and weep before me, I have even heard thee also, saith Yahuwah. Isaiah 57:15. For thus saith the high and lofty one that inhabiteth eternity, whose name is holy. I dwell in the high and holy place with him also that is of a contrite and humble spirit, to revive the spirit of the humble, and to revive the heart of the contrite ones. For I will not contend forever, neither will I always be wroth, for the spirit shall fail before me, and the souls which I have made For the lawlessness of his covetousness was I wroth and smote him. I hid me and was wroth, and he went on frowardly in the way of his heart. I have seen his ways and will heal him. I will lead him also and restore comforts unto him and to his mourners. I create the fruit of the lips. Peace, peace to him that is far off and to him that is near, saith Yahuwah, and I will heal him. But the wicked are like the troubled sea when it cannot rest, whose waters cast up mire and dirt. There is no peace, saith Yahuwah, my Elohim, to the wicked. So he warned them. They got the curses of the covenant. Deuteronomy 30, verse 3. Verse 1. And it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among the nations, whither Yahuwah thy Elohim hath driven thee. So that's Israel when they start waking back up to the truth. And shall return to Yahuwah thy Elohim, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thine heart and with all thy soul. What did the Messiah say? Mark chapter 12. And to love him with all the heart, with all, well, not Messiah. That is when he answered, the man answered. There we go. Matthew 22:37. Yahushua said unto him, thou shalt love Yahuwah thy Elohim with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. So when Israel does this, what Messiah said to do, James chapter 1, James, a servant of Yahuwah and of Master Yahushua Hamashiach, or Yahushua Messiah, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. 12 tribes scattered abroad. Romans 9:27, Isaiah, because it's translated out of the Greek New Testament, and the Old Testament out of the Hebrew or the Masoretic, it would be Isaiah, also crieth concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved. Romans 11:26, and so all Israel shall be saved, as is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. So is Israel still in play in the end days? Yes, they are. Revelation 7:4, and I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of who? Israel. Romans 11:11, I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? Yahuwah forbid, but rather through their fall salvation is come unto the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy. So through Israel, you can read the whole chapter, through Israel's fall, salvation has come to the Gentiles. Praise Yahuwah. Now, if the fall of them be the riches of the world, and the diminishing of them the riches of the Gentiles, how much more their fullness? Israel. That then, so this was going to happen when they turned to serve him, with all their heart, with all their soul, with all their mind, then then Yahuwah, your Elohim, will release you from captivity, have compassion on you, and will return and gather you from all the peoples where Yahuwah, your Elohim, has scattered you. If you're outcast or in the uttermost parts of the heavens, from there Yahuwah, your Elohim, will gather you, and from there he will bring you back. Yahuwah, your Elohim, will bring you into the land which your fathers possessed, and you will possess it. He will do you good and increase your numbers more than your fathers. Yahuwah, your Elohim, will circumcise your heart and the heart of your offspring to love Yahuwah, your Elohim, with all your heart and with all your soul, that you may live. Yahuwah, your Elohim, will put all these curses on your enemies and on those who hate you, who persecuted you. You shall return and obey Yahuwah's voice and do all his commandments, which I command you today. Yahuwah, your Elohim, will make you plenteous in all the work of your hand, and the fruit of your body, and the fruit of your ground, and the fruit of your livestock for good. For Yahuwah will again rejoice over you for good, as he rejoiced over your fathers, if you will obey Yahuwah, your Elohim's voice, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which are written in this book of the law. Written in the book. The whole book. If you turn to Yahuwah, your Elohim, with all your heart and with all your soul, for this commandment which I command you today is not too hard for you or too distant from you. It is not in heaven that you should say, who will go up for us to heaven and bring it to us and proclaim it to us, that we may do it. Neither is it beyond the sea that you should say, who will go over the sea for us and bring it to us and proclaim it to us, that we may do it. But the word is very near to you, in your mouth and in your heart and in your hand, your book, that you may do it. Behold, I have set before you today life and prosperity, death and evil. For I command you today to love Yahuwah your Elohim, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments, his statutes, and his ordinances, that you may live and multiply, and that Yahuwah your Elohim may bless you in the land where you go in to possess it. But if your heart turns away, and you will not hear, but are drawn away and worship other gods and serve them, wood crosses, Sundays, steeples, Christmas trees, Easter bunnies, you name it. We've got idols galore in this land. I denounce to you today that you will surely perish. You will not prolong your days in the land where you pass over the Jordan to go in to possess it. 18. I call heaven and earth to witness against you today that I have set before you life and death, the blessing and the curse. Therefore choose life, that you may live, you and your descendants, to love Yahuwah your Elohim, to obey his voice and to cling to him. For he is your life in the length of your days, that you may dwell in the land which Yahuwah swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give them. And also, if you go to Jeremiah 16, matter of fact, let's go to pull up another one here. Book chapter view, Jeremiah 16. Nope, we don't have it. 16 is missing. 23 is missing too. So the 2 and the second the Dead Sea Scrolls, the second Exodus, is missing. Interesting. So let's go over to see what Brenton says. Jeremiah 16. Yep. So 14, you can read the whole chapter. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, when they shall no more say, Yahuwah lives that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. First Exodus. But Yahuwah lives, who brought up the house of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the countries whither they were thrust out, and I will restore them to their own land, which I gave to their fathers. Behold, I will send many fishers, saith Yahuwah, and they shall fish them, and afterward I will send many hunters, and they shall hunt them from upon every mountain and upon every hill, out of the holes of the rocks, for mine eyes are upon all their ways, and their iniquities have not been hidden from mine eyes, their lawlessness. I will recompense their mischiefs doubly, and their sins, whereby they have profaned my land, with the carcasses of their abominations, and with their lawlessness, whereby they have trespassed against mine inheritance. O Yahuwah, thou art my strength and mine help and my refuge in days of evil. To thee the Gentiles shall come from the end of the earth, and shall say, how vain were the idols which our fathers procured to themselves, and there is no help in them. Will a man make gods for himself, whereas these are no gods? Therefore, behold, I will at this time manifest my hand to them, and will make known to them my power, and they shall know that my name is, they replaced it, Yahuwah. And they profaned, trespassed against his inheritance. What's over there in Israel now? Profaned my land. 23. Jeremiah 23. Okay, so thus saith, you can read the whole chapter, thus saith Yahuwah Almighty, hearken not to the words of the prophets, for they frame a vain vision for themselves. They speak from their own heart, and not from the mouth of Yahuwah. They say to them that reject the word of Yahuwah, there shall be peace to you, and to all that walk after their own lust, and to every one that walks in the error of his heart. They have said, no evil shall come upon thee. For who has stood in the counsel of Yahuwah, and seen his word? Who has hearkened and heard? Behold, there is earthquake from Yahuwah, and anger proceeds to a convulsion. It shall come violently upon the ungodly, and Yahuwah's wrath shall return no more until he accomplished it, and until he have established it, according to the purpose of his heart, not our heart, his heart. At the end of the days they shall understand it. I sent not the prophets, yet they ran, neither spoke I to them, yet they prophesied. But if they had stood in my counsel, and if they had hearkened to my words, then they would have turned my people from their evil practices. I am an Elohim nigh at hand. And another translation says, am I? No, it's I am. He tells you, I am a God at hand, saith Yahuwah, and not a God afar off. Shall anyone hide himself in secret places, and I not see him? Do I not fill heaven and earth, saith Yahuwah? I have heard what the prophets say, what they prophesy in my name, saying falsely, I have seen a night vision. How long shall these things be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies, when they prophesy the purposes of their own heart, who devise that men may forget my law by their dreams, which they have told everyone to his neighbor, as their fathers forgot my name in the worship of Baal, which is Lord. The prophet who has a dream, let him tell his dream, and he in whom is my word spoken to him, let him tell my word truly. What is the chaff to the corn? So are my words, saith Yahuwah. Behold, are not my words as fire, saith Yahuwah, and as an axe cutting the rock? Behold, I am therefore against the prophets, saith Yahuwah Elohim, that steal my words, every one from his neighbor. Behold, I am against the prophets that put forth prophecies of mere words, and slumbered their sleep. Therefore, behold, I am against the prophets that prophesy false dreams, and have not told them truly, and have caused my people to err by their lies and by their errors. Yet I sent them not, and commanded them not. Therefore they shall not profit this people at all. And if this people, or the priest, or the prophet should ask, what is the burden of Yahuwah? Then thou shalt say to them, ye are the burden, and I will dash you down, saith Yahuwah. As for the prophet and for the priest and the people who shall say the burden of Yahuwah, I will even take vengeance on that man. Grace, say by grace we don't have to do nothing. and on his house. Thus shall you say, every one to his neighbor, and every one to his brother, what has Yahuwah answered, and what has Yahuwah said? And do you name no more the burden of Yahuwah, for his own word shall be a man's burden. But wherefore say ye, has Yahuwah our Elohim spoken? Therefore thus saith Yahuwah our Elohim, because you have spoken this word, the burden of Yahuwah, and I sent to you, saying, you shall not say the burden of Yahuwah. Therefore, behold, I will seize and dash down you and the city which I gave to you and your fathers, and I will bring upon you an everlasting reproach and an everlasting disgrace, which shall not be forgotten. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, when they shall no more say, Yahuwah lives, who brought up the house of Israel out of the land of Egypt, first Exodus, but Yahuwah lives, who has gathered the whole seed of Israel, from the north land and from all the countries whither he hath driven them out, and has restored them into their own land. Has that happened yet? No. The state of Israel over there is fake. F-A-K-E, fake. And you see where it says, yep, for his own word shall be a man's burden. The ones who like Jeremiah 23 might want to listen up. Matthew 12:37, for by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. And also, Isaiah 11. Second Exodus is all, the regathering of Israel is all over the Bible, all over the scriptures. Isaiah 11, a shoot will come out of the stock of Jesse, and a branch out of his roots will bear fruit. Yahuwah's spirit will rest on him, the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and of the fear of Yahuwah. So these spirits come on man. His delight will be in the fear of Yahuwah. He will not judge by the sight of his eyes, neither decide by the hearing of his ear. But with the righteousness he will judge the poor, and decide with equity for the humble of the earth. He will strike the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips he will kill the wicked. That's the second coming. Righteousness will be the belt of his waist, and faithfulness the belt of his waist. The wolf will live with the lamb, and the leopard will lie down with the young goat. The calf, the young lion, and the fattened calf together, and a little child will lead them. It's back before the fall of the Garden of Eden. They lived together in peace, no violence. The cow and the bear will graze, their young ones will lie down together. The lion will eat straw like the ox. The nursing child will play near a cobra's hole, and the weaned child will put his hand on the viper's den. They will not hurt nor destroy in my holy mountain, for all the earth will be full of the knowledge of Yahuwah, as the waters cover the sea. It will happen in that day that the nations will seek the root of Jesse, who stands as a banner of the peoples, and his resting place will be glorious. It will happen in that day that Yahuwah will set his hand again the second time, to recover the remnant that is left of his people from Assyria. Tells you where some of them are at: from Egypt, from Pathros, from Cush, from Elam, from Shinar, from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. Spread all over the earth, right? He will set up a banner for the nations, and will assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the corners of the earth. I guess 4 is not in that manuscript. The envy also of Ephraim will depart, and those who persecute Judah will be cut off. Ephraim won't envy Judah, and Judah won't persecute Ephraim. They will fly down on the shoulders of the Philistines on the west. Together they will plunder the children of the east. Who's in the east? Orient. Orient's in the east. They will extend their power over Edom and Moab. In the Jewish encyclopedia, it says that the Jewish people over there now are Edom. I don't know if that's true or not, but they're not Israel. Maybe there might be some scattered in. It said that Israel will be scattered in all the nations, so there could be some scattered in. And the children of Ammon will obey them. Yahuwah will utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea, and with his scorching wind he will wave his hands over the river. He will split it into 7 streams and cause men to march over in sandals. Hallelujah. There will be a highway for the remnant that is left of his people from Assyria, like there was for Israel in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt. Looky there. 2nd Exodus 16. It's going to be amazing. Except if you're on the wrong side of the boat or the ship. Absolutely horrible. In that day you will say, I will give thanks to you, Yahuwah, for though you were angry with me, your anger has turned away, and you comfort me. Behold, Yahuwah, Elohim is my salvation. I will trust and will not be afraid, for Yahuwah is my strength. Not the short form, the long form. In song, he has become my salvation. Therefore, with joy you will draw water out of the wells of salvation. In that day you will say, give thanks to Yahuwah, call on his name, declare his doings among the peoples, proclaim that his name is exalted. Sing to Yahuwah, for he has done excellent things. Let this be known in all the earth. Cry aloud and shout, you inhabitant of the daughter of Zion, for the Holy One of Israel is great among you. Twelve 7. Yeah, 12 is kind of short there. Well, they didn't have chapters and verses, so it'd be one scroll. So, back in the day. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amoz saw, set up a banner on the bare mountain, lift up your voice to them, wave your hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my consecrated ones, yes, I have called my mighty men for my anger, even my proudly exulting ones. The noise of a multitude is in the mountains, as of a great people, the noise of an uproar of the kingdoms of the nations gathered together. What's he going to do at the end? He's going to gather all the nations together and light them on fire. Yahuwah of armies is mustering the army for the battle. They come from a far country, from the uttermost part of heaven, even Yahuwah, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. That's the weapons of his indignation are his saints. Enoch tells you. Jude quotes it. Jude 1:14, and Enoch also the 7th from Adam prophesied of these, saying, behold, Yahuwah cometh with 10,000s of his saints, to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed, and of all their hard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. If you speak against his law, you are speaking against him. Beware. Well, for the day of Yahuwah is at hand, it will come as destruction from the Almighty. Therefore all hands will be feeble, and everyone's heart will melt. They will be dismayed, pangs and sorrows will seize them. They will be in pain like a woman in labor. They will look in amazement one at another, and their faces will be faces of flame. Behold, the day of Yahuwah comes, cruel with wrath and fierce anger, to make the land of desolation, and to destroy its sinners out of it. For the stars of the sky and its constellations will not give their light. The sun will be darkened in its going out, and the moon will not cause its light to shine. I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. I will cause the arrogance of the proud to cease, and will humble the arrogance of the terrible. I will make people more rare than fine gold, even a person than the pure gold of Ophir. Philippines, Garden of Eden. Therefore, I will make the heavens tremble, and the earth will be shaken out of its place in Yahuwah of armies' wrath, and in the day of his fierce anger. And they will be like a honey gazelle, and like sheep that no one gathers. They will each turn to their own people, and will each flee to their own land. Everyone who is found will be thrust through. Everyone who is captured will fall by the sword. Their infants also will be dashed in pieces before their eyes, and their houses will be ransacked, and their wives raped. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, who will not value silver, and as for gold, they will not delight in it. Their bows will dash the young men in pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb, and their eyes will not spare children. Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans' pride, will be like when Yahuwah overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It will never be inhabited, neither will it be lived in from generation to generation. The Arabian will not pitch a tent there. Why does it say Arabian? Maybe he's pitching a tent there now. Neither will shepherds make their flocks lie down there, but wild animals of the desert will lie there, and their houses will be full of jackals. Ostriches will dwell there, and wild goats will frolic there. Wolves will cry in their fortresses, and jackals in the pleasant palaces, and her time is near to come. Her days will not be prolonged. 22. Yep, so it's 22. Pretty full account. For Yahuwah will have compassion on Jacob. That's the good part. And will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. The foreigner will join himself with them. Gentiles, listen up. Romans 11, Ephesians 2. You're grafted into the covenant. You're supposed to be anyways. And they will unite with the house of Jacob. Many peoples will take them and bring them to their ground and to their palace. The house of Israel will possess them in Yahuwah's land for servants and for handmaids. See, return the regathering to the land. Has not happened yet. All this stuff has to happen. They will take as captives those whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. It will happen in the day that Yahuwah will give you rest from your sorrow, from your trouble, and from the hard service in which you are made to serve. That you will take up this parable against the king of Babylon and say how the oppressor has ceased. The golden city has ceased. Yahuwah has broken the staff of the wicked, the scepter of the rulers, who struck the peoples in wrath with a continual stroke, who ruled the nations in anger with a persecution that no one restrained. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break out in song. Yes, the cypress trees rejoice with you, with the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since you are humbled, no lumberjack has come up against us. Sheol from beneath has moved for you to meet you at your coming. So when Satan's cast down, nobody's cutting down Christmas trees anymore. It stirs up the departed spirits for you, even all the rulers of the earth. It has raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. They all will answer and ask you, have you also become as weak as we are? And have you become like us? Your pomp is brought down to Sheol with the sound of your stringed instrument. Maggots are spread out under you, and worms cover you. How you have fallen from the heaven, shining one, son of the dawn. How you are cut down to the ground, who laid the nations low. You said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. Satan. I will sit on the mountain of assembly in the far north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High. No, you're not. Yet you shall be brought down to Sheol, to the depths of the pit. Those who see you will stare at you. They will ponder you, saying, is this the man who made the earth to tremble, who shook kingdoms, who made the world like a wilderness and overthrew its cities, who didn't release his prisoners to their home? All the kings of the nations sleep in glory in his own house, but you are cast away from your tomb like an abominable branch, clothed with the slain, who are thrust through with the sword, who go down to the stones of the pit like a dead body trodden underfoot. You will not join them in burial, because you have destroyed your land. You have killed your people. The offspring of evildoers will not be named forever. Prepare for slaughter of his children because of the iniquity of their fathers, lawlessness, that they not rise up and possess the earth and fill the surface of the world with cities. I will rise up against them, says Yahuwah of armies, and cut off from Babylon name and remnant and son's son, says Yahuwah. I will also make it a possession for the porcupine and pools of water. I will sweep it with the broom of destruction, says Yahuwah of armies. Yahuwah of armies has sworn, saying, surely as I have thought, so shall it happen, and as I have purposed, so shall it stand, that I will break the Assyrian in my land, and tread him underfoot on my mountains. Why is the Assyrian in his land? The Assyrian in his land. the Assyrian language. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Interesting. It looks Assyrian. Vowel points and all. Then his yoke will leave them, and his burden will leave their shoulders. This is the plan that is determined for the whole earth. This is the hand that is stretched out over all the nations. See, when you believe the modern deception of Israel being, Judah being returned, and Ephraim being America, and Rome being Babylon, when you believe all that stuff and you read the scriptures, it blocks it out. It blinds you. For Yahuwah of armies has planned, and who can stop it? His hands are stretched out, and who can turn them back? This burden was in the year that King Ahaz died. Don't rejoice, O Philistia, all of you, because the rod that struck you is broken. For out of the serpent's root an adder will emerge, and his fruit will be a fiery flying serpent. The firstborn of the poor will eat, and the needy will lie down in safety. And I will kill your root with famine, and your remnant I will kill. How gate, cry city, you are melted away, Philistia, all of you, for smoke comes out of the north, and there is no straggler in his ranks. Smoke comes out of the north. He said he was going to make himself like the Most High. He's going to sit in the assembly in the far north. Smoke comes out of the north. What will they answer the messengers of the nation? That Yahuwah has founded Zion, and in him the afflicted of his people will take refuge. Hallelujah. So 15. Yeah, we'll leave. I believe 15 continues it on. Not a lot in the scrolls. Pretty sure 15 goes with it. Let's go to Isaiah 24. Behold, Yahuwah makes the ground empty, makes it waste, or the earth, turns it upside down, and scatters its inhabitants. It will be as with the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the creditor, so with the debtor, as with the taker of interest, so with the giver of interest. The earth will be utterly emptied and utterly laid waste, for Yahuwah has spoken this word. The earth mourns and fades away. The world languishes and fades away. The lofty people of the earth languish. The earth also is polluted under its inhabitants, because they have transgressed the laws, violated the statutes, and broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore the curse has devoured the earth, and those who dwell therein are found guilty. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men are left. These shall lift up their voice, they shout for the majesty of Yahuwah, they cry aloud from the sea, therefore glorify Yahuwah in the east, even the name of Yahuwah, the Elohim of Israel, in the islands of the sea. Where's the Philippines? In the east, in the islands of the sea. From the uttermost part of the earth have we heard songs, glory to the righteous. But I said, I pine away, woe is me. The treacherous have dealt treacherously. Yes, the treacherous have dealt very treacherously. Fear, the pit, the snare are on you who inhabit the earth. It will happen that he who flees from the noise of the fear will fall into the pit. He who comes up out of the middle of the pit will be taken in the snare, for the windows on high are opened, and the foundations of the earth tremble. The earth is utterly broken, the earth is torn apart, the earth is shaken violently, the earth will stagger like a drunken man, it will sway back and forth like a hammock. Its disobedience will be heavy on it, and it will fall and not rise again. It shall happen in that day, Yahuwah will punish the army of the high ones on high, and the kings of the earth on the earth. They shall be gathered together, as gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days shall they be visited. Then the moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed, for Yahuwah of armies will reign on Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, and before his elders will be glory. 24. Yahuwah, you are my Elohim. I will exalt you. I will praise your name, for you have done wonderful things, things planned long ago, in complete faithfulness and truth. For you have made a city into a heap, and a fortified city into a ruin, a palace of strangers to be no city. It will never be built. Therefore a strong people will glorify you. A city of awesome nations will fear you. For you have been a stronghold to the poor, a stronghold to the needy in his distress, a refuge from the storm, a shade from the heat, when the blast of the dreaded ones is like a storm against a wall. As the heat in a dry place will you bring down the noise of strangers, as the heat by the shade of a cloud, the song of the dreaded ones will be brought low. In this mountain Yahuwah of armies will make all peoples a feast of choice meat. Check 2nd Esdras, that'd be Leviathan. A feast of choice wines. Jeremiah Septuagint also says he gathers everyone to the feast of Passover. I think it's Jeremiah 38. A choice meat full of marrow of well-refined choice wines. He will destroy in this mountain the surface of the covering that covers all peoples, and the veil that is spread over all nations. He has swallowed up death forever. That happened yet? Nope. Yahuwah will wipe away tears from off all faces. He will take the reproach of his people away from off all the earth, for Yahuwah has spoken it. It shall be said in that day, behold, Yahuwah is our Elohim. We have waited for him, and he will save us. This is Yahuwah. We have waited for him. We will be glad and rejoice in his salvation. For in this mountain Yahuwah's hand will rest. Moab will be trodden down. You see that in Isaiah 15. Even like straw is trodden down in the water of the dunghill, he will spread out his hands in the middle of it, like one who swims spreads out hands to swim. But his pride will be humbled together with the craft of his hands. He has brought the high fortress of your walls down, laid low, and brought to the ground, even to the dust. 25:12, right? Yep. Isaiah 26, in that day this song will be sung in the land of Judah. We have a strong city. Yahuwah appoints salvation for walls and bulwarks. Open your gates that the righteous nation may enter, the one who keeps faith. You will keep whoever's mind is steadfast in perfect peace, because he trusts in you. Trust in Yahuwah forever, for in Yahuwah is an everlasting rock. For he has brought down those who dwell on high, the lofty city. He lays it low even to the ground. He brings it even to the dust. The feet of the poor shall tread it down, and the steps of the needy. The way of the just is uprightness. You who are upright make the path of the righteous level. Yes, in the way of your judgments, Yahuwah, have we waited for you. Your name and your law are the desire of our soul. With my soul I have desired you in the night. Yes, with my spirit within me I will seek you earnestly. For when your judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world learn righteousness. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet he will not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness he will deal wrongfully, and will not see Yahuwah's majesty. Yahuwah, your hand is lifted up, yet they don't see, but they will see your zeal for the people and be disappointed. Yes, fire will consume your adversaries. Yahuwah will ordain peace for us, for you have also done all our work for us. Yahuwah, our Elohim, other lords besides you had dominion over us, but by you only will we make mention of your name, his name. The dead shall not live, the departed spirits shall not rise. Therefore you have visited and destroyed them, and caused all memory of them to perish. You have increased the nation, O Yahuwah, you have increased the nation. You are glorified, you have enlarged all the borders of the land. Yahuwah, in trouble they have visited you. They poured out a prayer when your chastening was on them. Just as a woman with child who draws near the time of her delivery is in her pain and cries out in her pangs, so we have been before you, Yahuwah. We have been with child, we have been in pain, we have gave birth, it seems, only to wind. We have not worked your deliverance in the earth, neither have the inhabitants of the world fallen. Your dead shall live, my dead body shall arise. Awake and sing, you who dwell in the dust, the resurrection. As for your dew is like the dew of herbs, and the earth will cast out the departed spirits. Come, my people, enter into your rooms, and shut your doors behind you. Hide yourself for a little moment until the indignation is past. See that in Amos also. For Yahuwah comes out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their lawlessness. The earth also will disclose her blood, and will no longer cover her slain. So you see there's a lot there. 27. In that day, Yahuwah with his hard and great and strong sword will punish Leviathan the fleeing serpent, and Leviathan the twisted serpent, and he will kill the dragon that is in the sea. That's for dinner. In that day sing to her a pleasant vineyard. I, Yahuwah, am its keeper. I will water it every moment, lest anyone damage it. I will keep it night and day. Wrath is not in me, but if I should find briars and thorns, I would do battle. I would march on them, and I would burn them together. Or else let them take hold of my strength, that he may make peace with me. Let him make peace with me. In days to come, Jacob will take root. Israel will blossom and bud. They will fill the surface of the world with fruit. Has he struck them as he struck those who struck them? That's how you know it's happening right now. Everybody's trying to return to the law. They will fill the surface of the world with fruit. That's his law, Psalm 1. Or are they killed like those who killed them were killed? In measure, when you send them away, you contend with them. He has removed them with his rough blast in the day of the east wind. Therefore by this the iniquity of Jacob will be forgiven, and this is all the fruit of taking away his sin, that he makes all the stones of the altar as chalk stones that are beaten in pieces, so that the Asherah poles in the incense altar shall rise no more. For the fortified city is solitary, a habitation deserted and forsaken like the wilderness. The calf will feed there, and there he will lie down and consume its branches. When its boughs are withered, they will be broken off. The women will come and set them on fire, for they are a people of no understanding. Therefore he who made them will not have compassion on them, and he who formed them will show them no favor. What's no understanding? Hosea 4:6. His people lack knowledge because they don't have his law. No understanding, no law. It will happen in that day that Yahuwah will thresh from the flowing stream of the Euphrates to the brook of Egypt, and you will be gathered one by one, children of Israel. It will happen in that day that a great trumpet will be blown. Day of trumpets. Those who were ready to perish in the land of Assyria, scattered tribe, and those who were outcast in the land of Egypt, scattered tribe, shall come, and they will worship Yahuwah in the holy mountain at Jerusalem. I mean, it's all over scriptures. Go to Ezekiel 37. I think it starts on 36. You son of man, prophesy to the mountains of Israel, and say, you mountains of Israel, hear Yahuwah's word. Thus says Yahuwah, behold, the enemy has said against you, Aha, and the ancient high places are ours in possession. Who's the enemy? Who's in possession of the land right now? Therefore prophesy and say, thus says Yahuwah, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that you might be a possession to the residue of the nations, and you are taken up in the lips of talkers and the evil report of the people. Therefore you, mountains of Israel, ancient high places, hear the word of Yahuwah. Thus says Yahuwah, to the mountain and to the hills and to the watercourses and to the valleys, to the desolate wastes and to the cities that are forsaken, which have become a prey and a derision to the residue of the nations that are all around. Therefore thus says Yahuwah, surely in the fire of my jealousy I have spoken against the residue of the nations and against all Edom. Mentioned Edom. They have appointed my land to themselves for possession. For a possession. With the joy of all their heart, with despite of soul, to cast it out for a prey. Therefore prophesy concerning the land of Israel, and tell the mountains, the hills, the watercourses, and the valleys. Thus says Yahuwah, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy and in my wrath, because you have borne the shame of the nations. Therefore thus says Yahuwah, I have sworn, surely the nations that are all around you will bear their shame. But you, mountains of Israel, you shall shoot out your branches and yield your fruit to my people Israel, for they are at hand to come. Oh, look, they're going to come back now, after strangers have the land. For behold, I am for you, and I will come to you, and you will be tilled and sown. I will multiply men on you, all the house of Israel, even all of it. All of it. The cities will be inhabited, and the waste places will be built. Say 10 here. Ezekiel 36. Verse 10. I'll multiply men and cattle upon you, and I'll cause you to dwell at the beginning, as at the beginning, and will treat you well, as in your former times, and you shall know that I am Yahuwah. I will increase men upon you, even my people Israel, and they shall inherit you, and you shall be to them for possession. You shall no more be bereaved of them. Thus says Yahuwah, because they say to you, you are a devourer of men, and have been a bereaver of your nation. Therefore you shall devour men no more, and not bereave your nation any more. Thus says Yahuwah, Son of man, when the house of Israel, hold on, let's see, 14, 15. There shall no more be heard against you the reproach of the nations. You shall no more bear the revilings of the people. So, is that happening now? No, that doesn't happen now. So, 16. And the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, Son of man, the house of Israel dwelt upon their land, and defiled it by their way, and with their idols, and with their uncleannesses. And their way was before me like the uncleanness of a removed woman. So I poured out my wrath upon them, for the blood which they had poured out on the land, because they had defiled it with their idols. I scattered them among the nations. So see, he switches gears here. He tells you why they were dispersed. They were dispersed through the countries. I judged them according to their way and according to their deeds. When they came to the nations where they went, they profaned my holy name, in that men said of them, These are Yahuwah's people, and have left his land. But I had respect for my holy name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the nations where they went. Therefore tell the house of Israel, Thus says Yahuwah, I don't do this for your sake, house of Israel, but for my holy name's sake, which you have profaned among the nations, a house where you went. I will sanctify my great name, which has been profaned among the nations, which you have profaned among them. Then the nations will know that I am Yahuwah. He's going to do that. How did he do it the first time? First Exodus, the Egyptians saw it. The second Exodus, the nations see it. Says Yahuwah, when I am proven holy in you before their eyes. For I will take you from among the nations, and gather you out of all the countries, and bring you into your own land. Has it happened yet? Nope. I will sprinkle clean water on you, and when you will be clean, I will cleanse you from all your filthiness and from all your idols. I will also give you a new heart, and I'll put a new spirit within you. I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh. I will put my spirit within you, and cause you to walk in my statutes. You will keep my ordinances and do them. You will dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers. You will be my people, and I will be your Elohim. I will save you from all your uncleanness. I will call for the grain, and will multiply it, and lay no famine on you. I will multiply the fruit of the tree, and increase of the field, that you may receive no more reproach of famine among the nations. Then you will remember your evil ways and your deeds that were not good, and you will loathe yourselves in your own sight for your iniquities and for your abominations. I don't do this for your sake, says Yahuwah. Let it be known to you, be ashamed and confounded for your ways, house of Israel. Thus says Yahuwah, in the day that I cleanse you from all your iniquities, I will cause the cities to be inhabited, and the waste places will be built. The land that was desolate will be tilled instead of being a desolation in the sight of all who pass by. They will say, this land was desolate, has become like the Garden of Eden. So has it become like the Garden of Eden? No, it has not. The waste, desolate, and ruined cities are fortified and inhabited. 37. Yahuwah's hand was on me, and he brought me out in Yahuwah's spirit and set me down in the middle of the valley, and it was full of bones. He caused me to pass by them all around, and behold, there were very many in the open valley, and behold, they were very dry. He said to me, Son of man, can these bones live? I answered, Yahuwah, you know. Again he said to me, prophesy over these bones, and tell them, you dry bones, hear Yahuwah's word. Thus says Yahuwah to these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and you will live. I'll lay sinews on you, and will bring up flesh on you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and you will live. Then you will know that I am Yahuwah. Resurrection. So I prophesied as I was commanded. As I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, there was an earthquake. The bones came together, bone to its bone. I saw, and behold, there were sinews on them, and flesh came up, and skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. Then he said to me, prophesy to the wind, prophesy, son of man, and tell the wind, thus says Yahuwah, come from the four winds, breathe, and breathe on these slain, that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them. And they lived and stood up on their feet, an exceeding great army. Then he said to me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dried up, and our hope is lost. We are completely cut off. Therefore prophesy and tell them, thus says Yahuwah, behold, I open your graves, and cause you to come up out of your graves, my people. And I will bring you into the land of Israel. The regathering. The ones that are alive and remain will not precede those that are raised from the dead. What Paul said. You will know that I am Yahuwah when I have opened your graves and caused you to come out of your graves, my people. I will put my spirit in you, and you will live. Then I will place you in your own land. You will know that I, Yahuwah, have spoken it and performed it, says Yahuwah. So, 15. And the word of Yahuwah came to me, Son of man, take for yourself a rod, and ride upon it Judah and the children of Israel, his inheritance. And thou shalt take for thyself another rod, and thou shalt inscribe it for Joseph, the rod of Ephraim, and all the children of Israel that belong to him. Yep. Children of Israel, his companions. Ephraim, his companions. And thou shalt join them together for thyself, so that they should bind themselves into one stick, and they shall be in thine hand. And it shall come to pass, when the children of thy people shall say to thee, wilt thou not tell us what thou meanest by these things? Thou shalt say to them, thus saith Yahuwah, behold, I will take the tribe of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel that belong to him, and I will add them to the tribe of Judah, and they shall become one rod in the hand of Judah. And the rods on which thou didst write shall be in thine hand in their presence, and thou shalt say to them, thus saith Yahuwah, behold, I will take the whole house of Israel out of the midst of the nations among whom they have gone, and I will gather them from all that are round about them, and will bring them into the land of Israel. I will make them a nation in my land, even on the mountains of Israel, and they shall have one prince. They have one prince now? No, that's the Messiah. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided any more into two kingdoms, that they may no more defile themselves with their idols. Is that happening now? Nope, they're defiled with idols all over the place. Christmas trees, Hanukkah, Purim, Tel Aviv, you name it. And I will deliver them from all their transgressions whereby they have sinned, and will cleanse them, and they shall be to me a people, and I, Yahuwah, will be to them a God. 24, 23, 28. My servant David shall be a prince in the midst of them. There shall be one separate shepherd of them all, for they shall walk in mine ordinances, and keep my judgments, and do them. They shall dwell in their land, which I have given to my servant Jacob, where their fathers dwelt, and they shall dwell upon it, and David my servant shall be their prince forever. And I will make with them a covenant of peace, and it shall be an everlasting covenant with them. And I will establish my sanctuary in the midst of them forever, and my tabernacle shall be among them, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be my people. The nations will know that I am Yahuwah, who sanctifies Israel, and my sanctuary is among them forevermore. Regathering. So we've got wipe out Gog and Magog. And this is absolutely correct. People don't like it, but oh well. You either want the truth or you don't. Revelation 2:9, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Judah and are not, but they are the synagogue of Satan. Revelation 3:9, behold, I'll make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Judah and are not, but do lie. Behold, I'll make them to come and worship before thy feet, and know that I have loved thee. Also, man, it's all over. It would take a long time to go through all the scriptures. Look at like Psalm 96 through 101. More second Exodus instructions. What's another one? It's all over the place. Jeremiah 30 and 31. Isaiah 42 and 43, Isaiah 65 and 66, minor prophets, it's all over. So let's go back. So 31, call heaven and earth to witness against you, choose life that you may live. Yep, so 20. Give you. Yep. So Deuteronomy 31. Moses finished speaking all these words to all Israel. He said to them, I am 120 years old today. I can no more go out and come in. Yahuwah said to me, you shall not go over this Jordan. Yahuwah your Elohim himself will go over before you. He will destroy these nations from before you, and you shall dispossess them. Joshua will go over before you as Yahuwah has spoken. Yahuwah will do to them as he did to Sihon and to Og, the kings of the Amorites, and to their land, whom he destroyed. Yahuwah will deliver them up before you, and you shall do to them according to all the commandment which I have commanded you. Be strong and courageous. Don't be afraid or scared of them. For Yahuwah your Elohim himself is who goes with you. He will not fail you nor forsake you. Moses called to Joshua and said to him in the sight of all Israel, be strong and courageous, for you shall go with this people into the land which Yahuwah has sworn to their fathers to give them, and you shall cause them to inherit it. Yahuwah himself is who goes before you. He will be with you. He will not fail you nor forsake you. Don't be afraid. Don't be discouraged. Moses wrote this law and delivered it to the priests, the sons of Levi, who bore the ark of Yahuwah's covenant, and to all the elders of Israel. Moses commanded them, saying, at the end of every 7 years, in the set time of the year of release, and the feast of tents, feast of booths. So 11. When all Israel has come to appear before Yahuwah your Elohim in the place which he will choose, you shall read this law before all Israel in their hearing. Assemble the people, the men and the women and the little ones and the foreigners who are within your gates, that they may hear and that they may learn and fear Yahuwah your Elohim, and observe to do all the words of this law, and that their children who have not known may hear and learn to fear Yahuwah your Elohim, as long as you live in the land where you go over the Jordan to possess it. So we're supposed to read this law here, the whole law in the Feast of Booths. 14. Yahuwah said to Moses, behold, your days approach that you must die. Call Joshua and present yourselves in the tent of meeting, that I may commission him. Moses and Joshua went and presented themselves in the tent of meeting. Yahuwah appeared in the tent in a pillar of cloud, and the pillar of cloud stood over the tent's door. It's going to happen again, second Exodus. Yahuwah said to Moses, behold, you shall sleep with your fathers. This people will rise up and play the prostitute after the strange gods of the land, where they go to be among them, and will forsake me, and break my covenant which I have made with them. Then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them, and they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall come on them. so that they will say in that day, haven't these evils come on us because our Elohim is not among us? 17 to 24. I will surely hide my face from him in that day for all the evil which they have done, in that they have turned to the other gods. Now therefore write the words of this psalm for yourselves, and teach it to the children of Israel. Put it in their mouths, that this psalm may be a witness for me against the children of Israel. 20. For when I have brought them into the land which I swore to their fathers, flowing with milk and honey, and they have eaten and filled themselves and grown fat, then they will turn to other gods and serve them and despise me and break my covenant. And it shall come to pass when many evils and troubles are befallen them, that this song shall testify against them as a witness, for it shall not be forgotten out of the mouths of their seed. For I know their imagination which they go about, even now, before I have brought them into the land which I swear to their fathers. Moses therefore wrote this song the same day and taught it to the children of Israel. And he gave Joshua the son of Nun a charge, and said, Be strong and of good courage, for thou shalt bring the children of Israel into the land which I swear unto them, and I will be with thee. When Moses had finished writing the words of this law in a book until they were finished, Moses commanded the Levites, who bore the ark of Yahuwah's covenant, saying, Take this book of the law and put it in the side of the ark of Yahuwah your Elohim's covenant, that it may be there for a witness against you. For I know your rebellion and your stiff neck. Behold, while I am yet alive with you today, you have been rebellious against Yahuwah. How much more after my death? Assemble to me all the elders of your tribes and your judges and your officers, that I may speak these words in their ears and call heaven and earth to witness against them. For I know that after my death you will utterly corrupt yourselves and turn away from the way which I have commanded you, and evil will happen to you in the latter days, because you will do that which is evil in Yahuwah's sight, to provoke him to anger through the work of your hands. Moses spoke in the ears of all the assembly of Israel the words of this song until they were finished. 32. Deuteronomy 32. Give ear, you heavens, and I will speak. Let the earth hear the words of my mouth. My doctrine will drop as the rain. My speech will condense as the dew, as the misty rain on the tender grass, as the showers on the herb. For I will proclaim Yahuwah's name. Ascribe greatness to our Elohim. So we're supposed to proclaim Yahuwah's name. 4. Yeah, 3, 4. Well, sorry for all the scrolling. 3, 4, 5. Because I will publish the name of Yahuwah and ascribe you greatness unto our Elohim. He is the rock. His work is perfect. For all his ways are judgment, a God of truth and without iniquity. Just and right is he. They have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of his children. Paul also says the rock is Messiah, Christ. They are a perverse and crooked generation. Is this the way you repay Yahuwah, foolish and unwise people? Isn't he your father who has brought you out? He has made you and established you. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask your father, and he will show you. Your elders, and they will tell you. When the Most High gave the nations their inheritance, when he separated the children of men, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. Did you translate that correctly? Number 8. The bounds of the nation. This scroll says to the number of the children of God. Right. The angels. This reading matches the LXX. That is more likely translated incorrectly. If you go to, where's that? Verse 8. Yeah, see, they got Most High divided the nations according to the children of Israel. Wrong. when he separated the sons of Adam. Septuagint got it right. Yeah, see, when he dispersed the children of Adam, he settled the boundaries of the nations. When's the dispersion of the children of Adam? The Tower of Babel. According to the number of God's messengers, the angels, the divine council. Well, not necessarily the divine council, but the angels. Like the book of Daniel, Prince of Persia. Yeah, let's see. Yep. When the Most High divided the nations, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the nations according to the number of the angels of God. According to the angels. 8 to 9. Nine. For Yahuwah's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance, Israel. So Israel is his portion. He found him in a desert land, in the waste howling wilderness. He surrounded him, he cared for him, he kept him as the apple of his eye. As an eagle that stirs up her nest, that flutters over her young, he spread abroad his wings, he took them, he bore them on his feathers. Psalm 91. 11. Alright, where's it at? 11, 12. So Yahuwah alone did lead him, and there was no strange God with him. He made them ride on the high places of the earth. He ate the increase of the field. He caused them to suck honey out of the rock, oil out of the flinty rock, butter from the herd, and milk from the flock, with the fat of lambs, rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats with the finest of the wheat. From the blood of the grape you drank wine. 14 to 33. So 14. But Israel waxed fat, kicked, thou art waxen fat, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook Yahuwah which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. They sacrificed to demons, not Elohim, or not Yahuwah, to gods that they didn't know, to new gods that came up recently, which your fathers didn't dread. Of the rock who became your father, you were unmindful, and have forgotten Yahuwah who gave you birth. Yahuwah saw and abhorred because of the provocation of his sons and his daughters. He said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end will be. For they are a very perverse generation, children in whom is no faithfulness. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities. I will move them to jealousy with those who are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. For a fire is kindled in my anger that burns to the lowest Sheol, devours the earth with its increase, and sets the foundations of the mountains on fire. 22. Sounds like the end there. 23. I will heap evils on them. I will spend my arrows on them. Most people are going to think it's the government. No, it is the government, but it's because you're wicked. So the government's going to punish you. It's our Father in heaven punishing us. They shall be wasted with hunger and devoured with burning heat and bitter destruction. I will send the teeth of animals on them, and with venom of vipers that glide in the dust. Outside the sword will bereave, and in the rooms terror, and both young man and virgin, the nursing infant with the gray-haired man. I said that I will scatter them afar. I will make their memory to cease from among men. Were it not that I feared the provocation of the enemy, lest their adversaries should judge wrongly, lest they should say, our hand is exalted. Yahuwah has not done all this. 28. Where's 28 at? Sorry, I know that's a lot of scrolling. 28. For For they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there understanding in them. His law, his knowledge, no understanding. 29, where's that? Oh, that they were wise, that they understood this, that they would consider their latter end. $30. This is all over the place. Fragments everywhere. 30. How should one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight, except their rock had sold them, and Yahuwah has shut them up? For their rock is not our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. For their vine is the vine of Sodom, and of the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are the grapes of Gaul. Their clusters are bitter. Their wine is the poison of dragons, and the cruel venom of strange asp. To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste. For Yahuwah shall judge his people, and repent himself for his servants, when he seeth that their power is gone, and there is none shut up or left. Yahuwah will say, where are their gods, the rock in which they took refuge, which ate the fat of their sacrifices, and drank the wine of their drink offering? Let them rise up and help you. Let them be your protection. See now that I myself am he. There is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. There is no one who can deliver out of my hand. For I lift up my hand to heaven and declare as I live forever. If I sharpen my glittering sword, my hand grasps it in judgment. I will take vengeance on my adversaries and will repay those who hate me. I will make my arrows drunk with blood. My sword shall devour flesh with the blood of the slain and the captives. And from the head of the leaders of the enemy rejoice heavens with his people, and bow down to him all gods. For he will avenge the blood of his sons. He will take vengeance on his adversaries and avenge those who hate him. Speaking against his law and not doing his law is considered hating him, and speaking against his son. And will make atonement for his land and for his people. 44. So, and Moses came and spake all the words of this song in the ears of the people, he and Hoshea the son of Nun. And Moses made an end of speaking all these words to all Israel. And he said unto them, set your hearts unto all the words which I testify among you this day, which you shall command your children to observe and to do all the words of this law. For it is not a vain thing for you, because it is your life. And through this thing you shall prolong your days in the land, whither you go over Jordan to possess it. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses that selfsame day, saying, get thee up into this mountain, Abarim, unto the Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, that is over against Jericho. And behold the land of Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel for possession. And die in the mount whither thou goest up, and be gathered unto thy people, as Aaron thy brother died in Mount Hor, and was gathered unto his people, because you trespassed against me among the children of Israel at the waters of Meribah Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin, because you sanctified me not in the midst of the children of Israel. Yet thou shalt see the land before thee, but thou shalt not go thither unto the land which I give to the children of Israel. Moses was obedient in everything, except one thing: he didn't talk to the rock, he hit it. So now he don't get to go into the land. Adam ate of the tree. And people think that he's playing around. He's not playing around. Deuteronomy 33. This is the blessing with which Moses, the man of Yahuwah, blessed the children of Israel before his death. He said, Yahuwah came from Sinai and rose from Seir to them. He shone from Mount Paran. He came from the 10,000s of holy ones. At his right hand was a fiery law for them. What we read in Jude. Ten thousands of his saints to execute judgment upon all. See, Deuteronomy 33. verse 2. Yes, he loves the people. All his saints are in your hand. They sit down at your feet. Each receives your words. So that starts at 17. Missing 4. That one starts at 7. Those people, Moses commanded us a law, even the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob. He was king in Israel when the heads of the people were gathered, all the tribes of Israel together. Let Reuben live and not die, nor let his men be few. This is for Judah, he said. Hear Yahuwah, the voice of Judah. Bring him into his people. With his hands he contended for himself. He shall be a help against his adversaries to me. And about Levi he said, your Thummim and your Urim are with your godly one, whom you proved at Massa, with whom you contended at the waters of Meribah. 8 to 9. Yep. He said of his father and of his mother, I have not seen him. He didn't acknowledge his brothers, nor did he know his children. For he has observed your word and keeps your covenant. They shall teach Jacob your ordinances and Israel your law. They shall put incense before you and hold burnt offering on your altar. Yahuwah blesses his skills, accept the works of his hands. Strike through the hips of those who rise up against him, of those who hate him, that they not rise again. And about Benjamin he said, the beloved of Yahuwah will dwell in safety by him. He covers him all day long. He dwells between his shoulders. Testament of 12 Patriarchs is really good to read. About Joseph he said, his land is blessed by Yahuwah, and for the precious things of the heavens, for the dew, for the deep that couches beneath, for the precious things of the fruits of the sun, for the precious things that the moon can yield, for the best things of the ancient mountains, for the precious things of the everlasting hills, or the ancient mountains, his holy land, for the precious things of the earth and its fullness, the goodwill of him who lived in the bush. Let this come on the head of Joseph, on the crown of the head of him who was separated from his brothers. The firstborn of his herd, majesty is his. His horns are the horns of the wild ox. With them he will push all the peoples to the ends of the earth. They are the 10,000s of Ephraim. They are the thousands of Manasseh. About Zebulun he said, rejoice Zebulun in your going out, and Issachar in your tents. They will call the peoples to the mountain. There they will offer sacrifices of righteousness, for they will draw out the abundance of the seas, the hidden treasures of the sand. Seas also refers to people in Scripture. About Gad he said, he who enlarges Gad is blessed. He dwells as a lioness and tears the arm, and yes, the crown of the head. He provided the first part for himself, for the lawgiver's portion was reserved for him. He came with the heads of the people. He executed the righteousness of Yahuwah, his ordinances with Israel. About Dan he said, Dan is the lion's cub that leaps out of Bashan. About Naphtali he said, Naphtali, satisfied with favor, full of Yahuwah's blessing, possesses the west and the south. About Asher he said, Asher is blessed with children. Let him be acceptable to his brothers. Let him dip his foot in the oil. 24, 25. Thy shoes be iron and brass, and as thy days, so shall thy strength be. There is none like unto the Elohim of Israel, who rideth upon the heaven in thy help, and in his excellency on the sky. The eternal Elohim is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. And he shall thrust out the enemy from before thee, and shall say, destroy them. Israel then shall dwell in safety alone. The fountain of Jacob shall be upon a land of corn and wine, and also his heavens shall drop down dew. Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by Yahuwah, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency, and thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee. What do we read here? What did we read here? They are not, but do lie. Thou shalt tread upon their high places. Strangers in the land. They think it's their high places, but it's not. Deuteronomy 34. Moses went up from the plains of Moab to Mount Nebo to the top of Pisgah that is over against Jericho. Yahuwah showed him all the land of Gilead to Dan and all of Naphtali, the land of Ephraim and Manasseh, all the land of Judah to the western sea, and the south, and the plain of the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees, to Zoar. It's interesting in the Dead Sea Scrolls, Zoar's in Pharaoh is Zoar, so Egypt, a place in Egypt. Yahuwah said to him, "This is the land which I swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, saying, I will give it to your offspring. I have caused you to see it with your eyes, but you shall not go over there." So Moses, the servant of Yahuwah, died there in the land of Moab, according to Yahuwah's word. He buried him in the valley in the land of Moab, opposite Beth Peor, but no man knows where his tomb is to this day. Jude 1:9, yet Michael the archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses, durst not bring against him a railing accusation, but said, Yahuwah rebuked thee. So if Michael's wise enough not to bring an accusation against Satan, we need to heed that also. But these speak evil of those things which they know not, but what they know naturally as brute beasts, and those things they corrupt themselves. 6:7. So something about the body of Moses. Not sure. Excuse me. Michael contending with the devil about the body of Moses. So 34:7. And Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eye was not dim, nor his natural force abated. The children of Israel wept for Moses in the plains of Moab 30 days, until the days of weeping in the mourning for Moses were ended. Yeah, maybe Michael took the body somewhere, because it says no man knows where the tomb is to this day. And Joshua son of Nun was full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hand upon him, and the children of Israel hearkened unto him, and did as Yahuwah commanded Moses. And there arose not a prophet since in Israel like unto Moses, whom Yahuwah knew face to face. So this is after Joshua is anointed. It said there arose not a prophet since in Israel like Moses. Well, we know the Messiah is the prophet like unto Moses. So some people say Joshua's it, but it just told you right here Joshua was anointed and there was no prophet like Moses. In all the signs and wonders which Yahuwah sent him to do in the land of Egypt, to Pharaoh and to all his servants and to all his land, and in all that mighty hand and all the great terror which Moses showed in the sight of all Israel. Got it. So chapter 34. Yep. All right. Well, I hope that was a blessing, and if you need to, rewind. And I know I went through a lot there.